Hello, my name is Elliot Mead, and I'm an undergraduate student here at the College of Charleston. I'm a double major in Women's and Gender Studies and African American Studies. And as part of my African American Studies degree coursework this semester, I had the opportunity to intern here at the Avery. Since January, I have had the opportunity to help co-curate the Phyllis Wheatley stamp press release exhibit. I've had the opportunity to measure all of the boxes in the archives to get dimensions for official library purposes. And I've also had the opportunity to assist with the installation of rotating exhibits. But my primary project this semester, and hello, my name is Elliot Mead, and I'm an undergraduate student here at the College of Charleston. I'm a double major in Women's and Gender Studies and African American Studies. And as part of my African American Studies degree coursework this semester, I had the opportunity to intern here. I guess wasn't all that long ago, but to see the similarities and the commonalities was super cool, as well as hello, my name is Elliot Mead, and I'm an undergraduate student here at the College of Charleston. I'm a double major in Women's and Gender Studies and African American Studies. And as part of my African American Studies degree coursework this semester, I had the opportunity to intern here at the Avery. Since January, I have had the opportunity to help co-curate the Phyllis Wheatley stamp press release exhibit. I've had the opportunity to measure all of the boxes in the archives to get dimensions for official library cataloging purposes. And I've also had the opportunity to assist with the installation of rotating exhibits. Hello, my name is Elliot Mead, and I'm an undergraduate student here at the College of Charleston. I've also had the opportunity to assist with the installation of rotating exhibits, but my primary project this semester at the Avery is contained in this box. This box contains a collection of medical files that were donated to the Avery Research Center from a local Black doctor, and the collection dates back to 1901 and contains the medical notes and patient files of this doctor that he compiled over the course of his career. Each medical file, here I'll pull one out to show you. Each medical file is written rather, on a 4x6 index card. And my job as an intern here was to scan the front and back of each of these cards as we begin the process of digitizing this collection to make it available to researchers and to the public. I began this process, and here I'll open it so you can get a sense of how many files we're working with. I began this process on January 20th, and after 3 months, about 2 weeks ago, I scanned the last file on Tuesday, March 31st. In total, I scanned 900.
Okay, let's try this way. Is that better? This one's, I don't think so. We hear something? Oh, we're good. Okay, there we go. Hi again. So we'll just start where I left off. During my time at the College of Charleston, I've had the privilege of working at the Low Country Digital History Initiative, the Low Country Digital Library, and the Avery Research Center as a graduate assistant. So my work is very much centered on public history, archival research, interpretation, and digital exhibits. I will be candid and say when I left my first grad program in Georgia, I came to South Carolina with a backpack and a dream, and I had no clue what I wanted to do. It was early career, and I was feeling very discouraged in the field of history. I didn't know if it was something I wanted to do anymore. I didn't know if I had a place in the field of history, so I ended up getting a job as a fundraiser at a museum downtown, and a friend of mine, who I saw here earlier, sent me a message, and he said, "There's this event at Avery. You should go. I think you would like it." And I was like, "I think my grandma went there. It used to be a school or something. I'll go see what it's about." And that ended up being the inaugural BBIN meeting, the Black and Brown Interpreters Network. And to this day, I've gone to literally every single meetup we've had except for like 3. And that experience opened a door that I didn't know was there. So through Avery, I gained this newfound confidence to apply to graduate school again. I gained the confidence to apply as a lead interpretive aide at McLeod, so I became a tour guide. I got fellowships through Avery. I was here speaking last year on the Karen Chambers Fellowship that I received. Um, and I also had the opportunity to work within Avery itself. So Avery provided more than just opportunities for me, but it restored something in me. It ignited my love for this work and reminded me why I chose the field in the first place. But through my time working here, one of the most impactful parts of my experience has been working with researchers in the reading room and being very nosy and saying, what are you working on? How are you thinking through your research? What challenges are you facing in your research? And not only watching them walk out with this newfound major thing that they're going to write about or do a storytelling project on, but it really encouraged me to think about my research differently and think about the challenges in my research in a different light. I also was able to meet Dr. Camila Martin, who's worked very closely with me on finishing my thesis, and the final thing will be turned in this Wednesday. So thank you so much. That has also been a very interesting experience. But my work does focus on the syncretic blend of both Christianity and African-derived practices. So I'm focusing specifically on conjure through the Denmark VC conspiracy. So I'm arguing that the conspiracy was a very religious rebellion versus being more of a political rebellion. We have seen a lot of the politics in Charleston have changed after that conspiracy, but so did religion. So I'm arguing that African-derived spirituality worked coincide or side by side with Christianity, and I'm using Denmark VC as this figure of a liberation theology through the Old Testament and different Bible verses that he would use to encourage people to rebel, like the book of Exodus, Zechariah, and Joshua, along with Gullah Jack, who was one of the co-conspirators, and he really focused on the conjure side. He was born in Mozambique, which is East Africa, so his existence is very interesting because his name is Gullah Jack. And when we think of Gullah Geechee culture, it's typically West Central African, but this is an East African man. So how does this East African take on the full embodiment of what we know as Gullah culture today? So I talk a lot about that in the paper as well. I coined a term I call colonial Christianity, and I explored the Great Awakening and the rise of the Black participants in Christianity. And I argue that the enslaved community used this religion in a way that would work for their liberation versus following pure colonial Christianity or white evangelicism. Towards the end of the paper, I go into a lot of etymology of what Gullah means, what Cooter means, what does Christianity mean through the Black lens and through the Black experience. And it all comes together for me basically saying these enslaved rebellions that we're looking at are religious rebellions, and liberation theology was birthed within the early Black church. So throughout my time here, I've been greatly impacted with the friendships I've been able to make, the amazing mentorship and the support that I've received, and as well as opportunities through this program and through my time at Avery. This experience has strengthened my skills, has not only strengthened my skills, but has also helped me find my voice as a historian and a public scholar. So thank you guys very much. Next.
Shutting it all down. Or switch, like, try switching camera and then input, like, sometimes you find that on, this happens to me in class, like, once a week. You're not alone. Thank you.
But yeah, with the audio, the sound system is
studying exhibits. But my primary project this semester at the Avery is contained in this box. This box contains a collection of medical files that were donated to the Avery Research Center from a local Black doctor.
Understand why.
There we go. We're good. We're good. Alrighty. Where's president? All right, folks, we are going to continue moving forward through our program. Thank you so much for being patient. I hope you were able to grab a few snacks, get some drinks. We're getting ready to transition into the Binya presentation with the folks that are with Dr. Kenneth. So yeah, I'm going to transition and give the mic over to them. And if you need to leave the slides, you should be able to just click the arrow and you should be good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I move it? How can I? Without dragging it.
Oh, I'm gonna be able to drag it with the more sign.
Yikes. Hopefully that better. Does that be better for everyone? I think we should be good.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction. Binya is very excited to be here. How's everyone doing today? All right, okay. Y'all look just as good as y'all sound, so that's good. All right, so today we're just going to give y'all a little bit of a year-end review for our student organization. But first, I kind of want to tell you a little bit about what we even are about, what we do. So Binya is a student-led organization from the African American Studies Department. We think of ourselves as a sort of extension that meets the students and brings them into our department so that we can facilitate and foster a sense of learning and community engagement, right? That is our major thing. We want students to feel welcome within our department, and we want to be able to advocate for them on the behalf of those that need it, right? I'm gonna pass it off to Kyle, who's going to give us a more in-depth vision of our mission and vision.
Good evening, everybody. All right, so I'll go over the mission and vision of what kind of we envisioned for Benya starting really last year. So our mission is to promote the awareness of African American studies at College of Charleston by acting as an immersive bridge between African American studies and the applied practice of the discipline, including strengthening connections between faculty, students, campus, and community. and curriculum and careers to solidify the relationship between the past, present, and future of the African American studies. As a student-led organization, we work through these gaps through co-curriculum education, community outreach, and professional development, aimed to equip majors, minors, and the general enthusiasts with the knowledge, skills, and values through African American studies. Organizations, advocates, and change makers in the communities and society. So basically, all that means is we kind of bridge the gap between students, teachers, what African American studies actually is versus what it's thought to be, and how you can kind of employ African American studies in the workplace. So next, I'll be kind of going over a couple of ways we did this throughout the semester and the year. So one thing we introduced was the faculty spotlight. Our first, oh, I think our second one was Dr. KB. Hey, Dr. KB. So this is the okay. All right, good. My bad. All right, so yeah, so this is just how the faculty spotlight looks. If faculty, just spotlight a professor in African American Studies or an associate professor. Yeah, and we also had a student spotlight, which our first one was Rory. A lot of y'all know Rory, really great student in the African American Studies department. And another thing we did is tons of events throughout the year. And my favorite one was the Ox battle, Kendrick versus Drake. Who y'all thought won did not win. So yeah, Drake won. Me and Kiera actually was on Team Drake. And a great thing about these events is we like to promote classes that are coming up in the following semester through our events. So these are a couple of the courses we promoted through the events, and yeah, so that's kind of bridging the gap. We give a professor the chance to speak during these events, kind of promote his class, and kind of connect with the students. So with this event, our professor that was speaking was Dr. Johnson, who was also able to judge and host the event. You know, hop in?
Yeah. So for these, we just have a collection of pictures of some of the events that we organize around campus, just to show you guys that we do facilitate and foster safe environments for our student bodies to come and join us. So next, I would like to introduce everyone to a new coalition of student groups on our campus. This group is not directly attached to the College of Charleston. It is sort of an independent group that we formed to fill a gap that we knew was very necessary to fill within our institution. So this is a group of not all of the students in the Avery Collective, but just a good look at what we look like. So what is the Avery Collective? This Avery Collective is a coalition of multicultural and queer student organizations at the College of Charleston. This group was created to foster collaboration across diverse student groups, and we work to build community among marginalized and underrepresented students while creating shared spaces that encourage cultural exchange, solidarity, and empowerment. We strive to create that much needed third space where students feel welcome and safe. So just for an example, the Avery Collective is trying to fill the gap of some people who may be lacking in inclusivity. Not everyone is feeling very equal on this campus, and it's definitely not as diverse as it should be, right? So we're trying to fill the gaps that have been taken away from us so that students on this campus know that they do have a place here and that they are welcome and can succeed. What is our purpose? We would like to build on the legacy of the historic Avery Normal Institute, right, hence the name, right? We'd like to pay homage to what the work that's already been done here. The Avery was the first accredited secondary school for African Americans in Charleston. And we want to make sure that we're continuing the work of, keeping this safe space for students who want to strive for greatness, right? So below we have pictures of an event that we just had, and it was actually a really great turnout. It was our first outing with the collective of organizations, and I will share what those organizations look like in the next slide. So right here, we have our collection of organizations. This is the flyer for our very first event with the Avery Institute. Thank you so much to Dr. Butler for sending out that email to gather this coalition of students so that we can build an environment and an event like this. So to start off, we have Benya, who helped facilitate a good part of this event. We reached out to other organizations on campus. So that was the Black Student Union, the Muslim Student Association, our queer space organizations, the Asian Student Association, the Hispanic Latino Club, recently hatched, and Tea Time. These were all the organizations that came together to make sure that we could foster an environment of not just a specific subset of students, but to bring in diversity and make sure that we are engaging with each other on the way that can uplift everyone who might be feeling the effects of the removal of DEI. So please stay in contact with us. We do plan to do major things through the Avery Institution as well as on our college campus spaces. I am graduating, so I will not be I will not be a member of the Avery Collective for much longer. But with the students that we do have taking our places, I'm very confident that we will still be able to foster that sense of belonging. Thank you all so much.
Goodness, how beautiful is that? Thank you to the students for speaking on behalf of Binya. I feel like you all are doing very important work. And I also wanted to note that although you are graduating soon, it's very important to continue that work beyond these walls. And I feel like you'll do a great job doing that. So now we are getting ready to queue up another presentation from our two superstars, Sophia and Shania. Hello. Oh my goodness. Let me pull up these slides for y'all. Okay. Uh, Thank you guys for your patience as I work through tech issues. Thank you. I'm trying to figure out how I can move it. You guys. You see the little arrows. It's not moving. Oh, I know. Let's use our brain for a second. Let me go back to this. I wonder if I can just like scooch this up and out the way for hello. Is right. Nothing. Okay. Because usually there's like a button at the top where you can just make it large. Repeat that. Ooh. Well, yes. At the top. Okay. Viewing. Because it's like. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, not the Dow. I don't need that. You said the arrow right here. You said move it to the top corner. Yeah, it's not budging at all. Oh, period. Let's rejoice. Oh my gosh. Yay! Thank y'all for being so patient. Now I need to move this out the way. You know what? Oh. See, this is why we need community efforts. That part. Okay. Dang, now I can't move it again. All right. Drop this down. I just want to scoot it out the way so folks can see. All right, we should be in motion. I'm gonna hand it over to, again, our two amazing students that are helping us. They're gonna share some more about their experience here and what the projects they've been leading.
My name is Shania Damon.
And my name is Sophia Kristolovich, and we're two freshman students from the College of Charleston. We're also members of the Bonner Leadership Program, which is essentially a student organization, sort of club on campus that focuses on leadership, professional development, as well as social and political awareness. So we do a lot of community outreach and volunteering, which also extends to what we call our service sites. And for us, that was the Avery, where we essentially got hired on to work on the project we're about to talk about, which is the Mother Emanuel and Avery Research Center. Oh, okay, cool. Preservation project. Yeah, okay. So the project is centered around memory, preservation, and purpose. And so the AV Research Center Mother Emanuel project is focused on preserving and making accessible the records of the Mother Emanuel AME Church. And so essentially we're rehousing the materials as part of the 10 Million Names Initiative, which is a nationwide effort to document and preserve the histories of enslaved and free Black individuals in the United States. And so we're working with the records and artifacts as it is both a responsibility and a privilege for us as freshman students, but also just in general to be able to work with the material and through the project to be able to make the materials more accessible for genealogical and historical research purposes so that the stories and legacies of the community can be shared and remembered.
So again, we are working with the 10 Million Names Initiative, and we're also working with the American Ancestors Organization, which provides expertise in genealogical research and archival preservation to support long-term accessibility of these records, which essentially we are just preserving the risk of damage or any, what would you say, books, files, lots of records of people and their families, and just making sure that we can hold them for long-term accessibility for historical research to honor the church's legacy.
And so another opportunity we had opportunity we had was to give an interview for Channel 5 News, basically just talking about our work with the project. And they basically interviewed us, asked us about our experience, including just working with documents, working with Mother Emanuel, working with Avery. And so the segment essentially highlighted our role as student researchers and just to us personally, what we were working with, what we were doing, why it was important to make the histories more accessible for future research.
So the process that we essentially go about this is we get a box and we put on gloves, and essentially what is within the box can vary. Sometimes it's books, sometimes it's folders, sometimes it's checks and balances. And essentially what we do is if it has any paper clips or staples in it, we remove it with a stapler remover, and we get plastic little paper clips and make sure that they are connected with what is with them, and then we put them back into a folder, label them, and yeah.
Yeah, and so we kind of organize the materials. So we'll have larger boxes, as you see up here, of folders that we'll go through, sort the paper clips, sort them into categories, and then place them into folders based on those categories to eventually be more organized. But our participation in this is more of just a very basic level organization. But then also up here, we have some of the materials that we have kind of unearthed while going through boxes. So we have different church pamphlets, letters, poems, just things of that nature. It's really fun stuff to work with, and we've really enjoyed working on the project a lot. Yeah, and thank you.
Oh, Veer? Veer, would you like? Might as well. Something quick for the girl. Yay. Period.
Thank you, Shania and Sophia. So they just went over the process. I just want to talk about the importance of the project. It's really been an honor for me. When Dr. Butler approached me with this project, I was really excited, to get out into the community. It's just a rare opportunity. I think, especially for freshman students, especially for, pretty much a new employee in the archival world, this is rare. So I was ecstatic about it. I was ready to get going. It took maybe a year to fully come into fruition, but now we're just working every day on it. So, yeah, I think 10 Million Names is great. American Ancestors provided this project, and then 10 Million Names is basically their genealogical initiative for enslaved African Americans and ancestors of them. So it benefits everybody involved. I think, one, it's going to benefit American Ancestors to extend their genealogical research and their ancestral research. Mother Emanuel, AME Church, this is a historic institution, and from talking to Mr. Bennett, the church historian, they really want to give back to the community. And, he welcomed us in as family. So when we go in there, we basically have access to everything. And, he just made us feel really welcome. And I can tell by talking with him, he knows how he's going to display everything once everything is processed, and he has a good plan. So Avery fully trusts him and supports him. For Sophia and Shania, like I said, for freshmen to have this opportunity is so rare. And they appreciate it. I can tell that by their passion, and when they talk to me about what they're doing, it's not like I have to coach them through much. They understand it. They're ready to go. They never lack a work ethic. That's something that I knew when we kind of handpicked them. We would never have an issue with just a lack of passion and a lack of initiative. So what else? Yeah, just their work is refreshing and inspiring, and we're excited to keep it going and just continue it for next year. Thank you so much.
All right. So we are now getting ready to transition into our next presentation from Trinity and the girls of Sisters of Septima. Okay, period. Yeah, we need some. Yeah. So I'm getting ready to queue up their slides. Please bear with me, but seems like I should have a better handle on these. All right, you all should be good to go.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to start off by saying thank you for inviting sisters here today. We are looking forward to share our experience from the SCABC conference that we attended earlier on this year, and also introduce ourselves or reintroduce ourselves. Yeah. So we are part of Sisters of Septima, S support, I initiative, S scholarship, T transformation, E empowerment, R resilience, S service, and our color is blue. In African American culture, blue signifies a blend of resilience, beauty, mourning, and hope, which links to West African traditions and indigo use. My name is Ava Singletary. I'm an elementary education major with a business administration minor, and I'm a spring 28 graduate.
Hi, I'm Trinity. I'm a middle grades education major with concentrations in history and English, and I'm also a double major in African American studies. Maya Thorpe was also an attendee at this conference. She was unable to be with us today, but she's a special education major with an art extension, and she's going to be a spring graduate of 27.
Okay. So the SCAPC mission is to ensure high quality education for all children with an emphasis on African American children. This is achieved through coalition building, professional forums, placement of African American educators, and influencing educational political policies.
And so we picked SCAPC, or the South Carolina Alliance of Black Educators, because their goals directly align with who we are as sisters. They want to improve academic achievement for all children. They also want to recruit individuals into the field of education. And so as sisters, that is our goal, is what we want to do here on campus, encourage African American women or women of color to join the field of education, as well as provide great learning experiences for all children in the Low Country.
Hey.
Yeah, we can just use these.
Yeah.
So initially, there was people there who great. As well as being supported by them. You're one of two. So there wasn't a lot of knowledge there. We're able to, have firsthand professional development from educators of all backgrounds, all ages, and it was really nice to just be in that space and be welcomed. And hopefully, like, we can return and maybe present one day.
Just being in this space, being like with my sisters made me really excited to and look forward to becoming a teacher and like go through the process. And then we have a quote up here by Martin Luther King Jr. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl, but do whatever you have to do to keep moving forward. Be resilient through everything. It's okay to struggle, but you have to keep going, is basically what he means by that quote. And I think being in this space, like I saw how everybody really encapsulated that and like pushed it forward.
So I wanted to share a couple of sessions that impacted me the most. The first one being by Natasha Grimes. The topic of her talk was From Labels to Leadership, Reframing Student Personalities into Strengths. She talked a lot about how we often label children as their issues, or them being talkative, or students who are so perfectionist and constantly we're focusing on all the issues of the child, but not really focusing on how we can teach them how to lean into those issues. So if you have a child who is talkative, how can you make them a leader? If you have a child who is a perfectionist, how can you guide them in your classroom to help create the culture and space within your classroom, and help assist you as a teacher in your leading process and your teaching process. So I hope to reframe my thinking of whenever I encounter children I might be having a hard time with, and really leaning into guiding them instead of focusing so much on the disruptions that they're causing in my classroom, and use those disruptions as a tool within our learning space. An additional session that helped me out was The Formula for Success, Leading Systemic and Lasting Cultural Change by Mr. Mark Albert Morton. He talked a lot about how creating school climate is something that takes time, and it's something that you have to be mindful of as staff, and that you're not just relying on any information that you get from the district, but you're also relying on the relationships that you guys make amongst each other, and how that impacts the student, and how that encourages the children to want to come to the space and come into a learning space and feel loved and supported. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, and then the sessions that I went to, the first one, the presenter was Lanisha Travis, and hers was called Spiral Review That Sticks: Daily Routines to Boost Retention. And basically, she just emphasized daily spiral, like every day, keep it consistent. She says to keep tasks at the right level, don't make it too hard, don't make it too easy, and you need to tailor it for the student. Use same structure, different skills. Remember that every child has a different learning style, and just because one person learns it this way doesn't mean another is going to learn it that same way. To provide quick checks and fast feedback, use tools and strategies. She specifically emphasized using a game called Mission Impossible, which is basically problem solving with standards and to tailor it to your personal class, excuse me. And then she also said to use the cube strategy for math: circle, underline, box, eliminate, and solve. And this is specifically for word problems. And then she also says to focus on weak standards and prepare review. And then consistency and feedback helps students remain skilled. And then the second presenter was the keynote speaker. His name is Almasan Husso. And basically, he challenged us to think about our purpose as future educators. He said, what is your why? Create a teacher identity. Who am I? What do I do? Who do I do this for? Why does this matter? And then knowing your why helps you become a more intentional and impactful teacher. And I think you can really use that with whatever field you go into.
So immediately after the conference, we started to reflect a little bit about what this conference did for us amongst ourselves. So this was the first time that Ava and I were able to sit in a room with each other for more than an hour, right? Like it was a nice bonding experience for us, this conference. And then also it built our confidence as future educators. I know like we constantly see in the news about like education is a dying field or all the issues surrounding education. But this conference really just brought back the energy and love and joy and the purpose of why we became education majors in the first place. And it was just really nice to see a room full of African American teachers like coming from a PWI, and we don't really have a lot of that representation. So it was a nice space to feel supported and cared for. And so immediately we started to think like, what do we want to do for sisters, or what is our hope, or how we want to take from what we learned from the conference back here to our campus. And so we looked to our brothers in the Call Me Mister program. We immediately started attending their weekly meetings, learning from what they have done. And it's a program that has a lot of structure, professionalism, and like these gentlemen on our campus, they have a huge amount of confidence that we admire. So we wanted to collaborate with them a little bit more. We started brainstorming some ideas of things that we want to implement next year, and any initiatives that we wanted to put in motion when it comes into fall of 26. And then we also strengthened our bond with them. They invited us to their retreat, and then we got to just spend some time with the misters and learn about their experiences as African American men within the field of education and in K through 12 education. And it was just nice to hear from a different perspective that we don't often talk about.
And why this experience matters. It was really truly great, like, and it matters because we got to see other educators learning new things. Like we learned that like you should learn something every day, even if it doesn't matter and it doesn't pertain to your field, you should be learning something. And seeing myself in how I'm personally going to navigate other fields like professional, developmental, and just educator spaces. And then getting to meet educators that looked like me was very important. I mean, we're all, people. We know usually what the school system looks like. There's not that many of us in a classroom at once. And we also go to a PWI. So I think it was just important to see like how many people are out there in the South Carolina regional that want to be educators. And then seeing how the educators started, how some of them started out as teachers, some of them started out as like being a teacher but not having a degree for teaching, and then just seeing their progression and seeing how some of them are superintendents, some of them are principals, just seeing how they got to where they got to, and then learning that everyone ends up where they need to be. So just have fun with your journey.
So our hope is that following after this conference, we're hoping to strengthen our sisterhood. We don't want the next time that we all come together is to be at a conference. We want to spend some more time with one another and get to know each other. We also want to continue to attend the conference. Like I said, there was only 2 collegiate groups and we were one. The misters did a presentation. The misters were from Coastal Carolina, and so they presented on a little bit of their experience within the classroom, but hopefully we can kind of share our experience and what we've been doing here on campus, as well as building pipelines for future students. So we don't want, once we graduate after, we don't want the sisters program to necessarily die or to the energy to go away. We want to lay a foundation for future students to come in, continue the work that we're doing, and also attend this conference as well, and to really see their purpose as educators. And we also want to create spaces for dialogue and uplift. So continuing to work with the misters, continuing to network and make connections within the field of education and throughout South Carolina.
And then we ask for local mentors. If any of you are willing or would like to help us out and come just like help uplift us and give us knowledge, that would be great. And then if anybody has scholarship opportunities, we would like that so we can continue. This is just Septima pipeline, and we want to just make sure we all flourish and grow. And then professional development resources, even just like books, knowledge pamphlets, we would really appreciate that. And then partnerships with organizations, we would love to partner, so we can just get our name out there. And then of course also like mix and mingle, because this is Avery's Research Center. They have a lot of like knowledge and a wealth of it. And then recruitment and retention. If you guys know anybody in the educational field, young women who are looking, or even if they don't know what they want to do in education, we would love to take them on.
So we just want to give a big thanks to everyone for inviting us. If you would like to contact us or visit our website, all that information is provided for you here. And yes, thank you so much. And we also want to give acknowledgements to people who have supported us.
Wait,
So,
oh, sorry. Yeah, no, you're good. Hold up. And then
so we would like to acknowledge our founder or our advisor, Dr. Smalls Brown. She's with us in the room. Thank you for, she started this program. She's been one of our biggest supporters, of course, and she wants to continue to bring more women of color in the field of education and support students who are on this campus and give them the resources that they need to thrive in the future. Also to my sisters as well. Yes.
the ones that aren't here, we love them.
Yes. The Call Me Mr. program, of course, School of Education, Dr. Harris, and thank you for, assisting us through this presentation and being our biggest supporter. And then, of course, the Avery Research Center. I'm currently an undergraduate assistant here, and they have also been a big help for me. And yeah.
Thank you guys.
That's all I'm done.
We got one more before we reach the top. So I want to say thank you. We're gonna stop the share. There we go. I don't know, all the things. There you go. You can go to the website. And so we want to welcome up Dr. Kenneth Johnson, who you've seen already. You saw his photo. So from the Department of English, but also in the African American Studies program, to share a little bit about his research that he recently got to share. So since y'all didn't get to go to Mississippi, y'all get to get a sneak peek. All right.
How y'all doing? Do y'all need me to pull up a visual? I can pull up a visual. Okay. I'll pull up a visual. I got one slide for you. I feel like y'all all in my business. Yes. Yeah. Wonderful. What is this? Oh, shoot. It is. It does not want me to not be Darren, actually. Yes, it every time I try to sign in with my account, it just says Darren.
Did you? Yeah, it defaults to it a lot. It's to share the um Canvas slides, like with Avery programs. That might be,
The easiest way.
yeah, might be a good.
Yeah. What's the email?
Avery programs.
Every programs.
CFC, I mean CFC, wait,
CFC.edu.
yeah, sorry.
Nah, you good. Okay.
If we click back to this real quick, we can exit out of that, that's okay. Or press. Oh,
Bad.
okay.
Is that's not the right one, is it?
Maybe if we have it in more. What if there was like a shared tab?
That's what I just.
There we go.
Maybe is this the right email?
Oh, so Avery conferences, my.
Go to Gmail.
I feel like it defaults to so many different accounts for us. So hopefully that'll populate in the next few minutes or so.
Yeah. And if not, there we go.
Good.
Mind you, I just found out I was presenting when I got here.
Because I originally put you down on the program, but I was like, I don't see anything.
Yeah, ain't nobody saying nothing, but it's all right. We here. No, you good, you good. Okay, once I hit unmute.
Yeah.
All right. Can y'all hear me? Oh. Y'all ready? Thank you. Thank you for your patience. This is a sort of overview of some recent research. Like Dr. Butler said, I just presented on this at the College Language Association convention last week. So a lot of my research centers on Kiese Layman, who is a Mississippi writer. And this is specifically about his memoir, Heavy. And the title of it is Black Men's Bodies, Desire, and Literacy in Kiese Layman's Heavy. Kiese Layman's Heavy, an American memoir, is a text deeply concerned with trauma, memory, and survival. However, I want to suggest that Heavy is equally invested in interrogating how Black men come to understand their bodies, how those bodies are read, misread, disciplined, and desired. I argue that Heavy functions as a foundational text for theorizing Black male body literacy, centering fatness, vulnerability, and interiority as critical sites of knowledge production. While much scholarship on Black men's health and embodiment has historically focused on incarceration, mortality, or athleticism, Layman's memoir insists on a different kind of discourse, one rooted in the everyday lived experience of inhabiting a fat Black body. In doing so, Heavy foregrounds what I term an embodied literacy, one emerging through vulnerability, memory, and the often painful process of self-recognition. To better understand this intervention, I want to begin with the concept of body literacy. Scholars such as Laura Werschler, Megan Lalonde, and Geraldine Matus define body literacy as the ability to read and understand the body, its rhythms, signals, and needs. Matus in particular describes it as, quote, a deeply intimate and holistic relationship with our bodies and the selves we are that dwell in our flesh, end quote. However, these definitions don't fully account for the racialized and gendered dimensions of embodiment. For Black boys and men, body literacy is not simply something that develops over time through open dialogue and shared knowledge. Instead, it is often fragmented, constrained, and shaped by silence, particularly in relation to pleasure, vulnerability, and self-perception. What passes for bodily education is often reduced to the talk, a set of flattened heteronormative conversations about sex that prioritize risk over understanding, reproduction over pleasure, and control over care. As a result, Black boys are not taught how to understand their bodies in holistic ways. Rather, they're left to interpret them through external cues, through comparison, surveillance, and often shame. And Heavy makes this process visible. From its opening pages, Layman positions his body as both a narrative anchor and a site of tension. His physicality, his weight, his height, his size become a mechanism through which others impose expectations upon him. At 11 years old, Layman is instructed to, quote, stand still and act like his mother's husband in a casino. His body enables the performance of adult masculinity, yet he's denied the agency that such a role would typically require. And this moment is instructive. It demonstrates how Black boys' bodies are often read as older, more dangerous, or more capable than they are, effectively collapsing the distinction between boyhood and manhood. At the same time, it highlights how bodily perception becomes linked to the performance of masculinity. Layman's body then is not simply his own. It's the site onto which expectations of protection, authority, and maturity are projected. And this tension continues to shape his understanding of himself, particularly in relation to desirability. Throughout Heavy, Layman consistently reads his body in comparison to others. He measures himself against other boys, against cultural ideas of masculinity, and against his own internalized sense of inadequacy. As he recalls his interactions with Layla, a teenage girl, he notes that he was, quote, not the type of fat Black boy to ever talk to fine Black girls first, effectively disqualifying himself from the possibility of romantic or sexual recognition. Importantly, this sense of undesirability is not always explicitly imposed. It's learned through observation, comparison, and repetition.
Desirability in this context becomes relational. It's constructed through proximity to other bodies, through perceived hierarchies of attractiveness, and through the internalization of dominant standards that privilege thinness, muscularity, and control. Even in moments where Layman is affirmed, where he's told, quote, "I see you," he struggles to reconcile that affirmation with his own understanding of his body. What we see here is not a lack of literacy, but a miseducation. Layman is highly attuned to bodies, his own and others. He reads them constantly, but the frameworks through which he interprets those readings are shaped by anti-fatness, anti-Blackness, and rigid constructions of masculinity. This distorted body literacy extends into Layman's relationship with food, weight, and self-regulation. Across the memoir, food operates as both sustenance and coping mechanism. Layman turns to eating in moments of fear, sadness, and instability, using food to navigate emotional and psychological distress. Yet, as with his understanding of desirability, his interpretation of these behaviors is mediated by external intervention. Friends, coaches, and family members identify his eating as problematic, often linking it to anger, depression, or lack of discipline. These interventions, however, do not necessarily produce clarity. When Layman eventually loses a significant amount of weight, the transformation is framed both internally and externally as a form of success. But the physical change does not resolve his underlying struggles with body dissatisfaction. Even after losing over 80 pounds, he notes that he, quote, "still saw a 319-pound fat Black boy," underscoring the persistence of body dysmorphia and the limits of transformation narratives. In this way, heavy complicates dominant assumptions about health, discipline, and self-improvement. Weight loss does not equate to healing. Control does not equate to understanding. And visibility does not guarantee recognition. What Layman ultimately offers is not a solution, but an opening. By rendering his experiences with such vulnerability, he creates space for conversations that are often suppressed, particularly among Black men. As he notes in multiple interviews, many men approach him privately to share their own experiences with disordered eating and body image, often in hushed or confidential ways. These interactions suggest that the need for discourse is not absent, it's simply underdeveloped or undersupported. Heavy then functions as both a text and a call for more expansive, nuanced, and accessible conversations about Black men's bodies. It challenges scholars, educators, and practitioners to consider how we conceptualize body literacy, not as a neutral or universal framework, but as one that must account for the specific histories, violences, and silences that shape Black embodiment. Ultimately, Layman's memoir invites us to ask, what would it mean for Black men to develop a body literacy rooted not in comparison or correction, but in care, recognition, and critical self-understanding? Thank you.
We got some real brilliant people working here at the College of Charleston. So just make sure you tell everybody, make sure you enroll in these people's courses, because if they don't and they go get a job someplace else, then you stuck with what you get stuck with. All right. And so with that, I actually want to welcome up the faculty of the African American Studies program for their presentations. And then we'll go from there. So I want to welcome up Dr. Mahoney, Dr. Kibbe. I don't know if Dr. Johnson, you coming too? Why not? Come on. So many pieces. There we go.
Thank you. No, we don't need it. That's for you.
What?
Oh, mute this? No.
Mute it, because then people.
online.
Oh, got it, got it. Well, hello, everyone. I am Professor Mahoney, and I'm joined by other faculty in African American Studies, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Butler, Dr. Kibbe. And so I am standing in for Dr. Anthony Green, who you all probably know, who is the director of the African American Studies program. And so he could not be here today. And so I am standing in to announce some awards and pass out some gifts and celebrate some of our students who are in the African American Studies program. And so before I get into this, one thing that I want to note is Kyle and Kira, who was up here presenting about Benya, one thing that they did not mention is that it was a year ago today that Benya officially launched. And so this is kind of the 1-year anniversary of Benya. And so all of those things that they were talking about that they did, that was all done in their inaugural year. And so we've been really excited about the work that they've done and really proud of all the students who have been involved in Benya. And so Trinity, Sophia, Joseph, Kyle, Kira, just to name the folks who are in the room who's been a part of Benya. Now, with that being said, now I want to hand out some awards. The first award from African American Studies that I want to hand out is our Rising Scholar Award. And this award recognizes outstanding academic achievement by a sophomore or junior who is majoring or minoring in African American Studies. Now, when I tell you who this person is, this award might seem a little inadequate because when you think about this person, you probably don't think of them as a rising star because they are so involved in the campus life of CFC, but particularly African American Studies program. This person helped to launch Benya, also served as the first president of Benya during its inaugural year. And so for many of you, you already know who this is. And again, Rising Star is kind of, again, doesn't fully encompass probably how you might think of this person because they do such great work. And so it's kind of hard to believe that they're like a sophomore. But that also this shows you how much more is to come. And this award is kind of our investment as faculty in the continued success and support of the student and all the hope that we know of the things that this person will do. And so with all that being said, I would like to give this award to Trinity Priestley. Yes. Cool. Thank you. All right. And then the last two student recognitions I would like to do is for our graduating seniors. We have 2 graduating seniors that are here with us today, and you've already heard from them, both Kyle Singleton and Kira Wooden. They are graduating this spring as African American Studies majors. And it has been truly exciting to kind of see them walk into this kind of emerging role as not only scholars, but also as leaders and activists through their work with Benya, but also with the work that they've done in the classroom. They just recently both presented their research at the National Council of Black Studies Conference in Baltimore like a month ago. If you want to see more of their work, they're also presenting their capstone projects on Wednesday at 2 p.m. And so all are invited to come and see the amazing scholarship and work that they've done over the past year or two. But we're really excited to honor them. We definitely have more awards and things for them, but for today, we want to give them kind of their official African American Study Majors medallion. that they'll be able to wear at graduation. And we also have a small token of appreciation from the African American Studies faculty, a small graduation gift to kind of show you just how much we appreciate you. And what I would say about both Kyle and Kira, to add on with all the work that they've done, them along with Binya, with Trinity and all the others, Sophia, they have helped to make the African American Studies program more of a home. And not just for themselves, but for also the other students who are involved in the program, and even students who are not African American Studies majors and minors. It is definitely changed the entire environment of the program with them being involved over the last year. They've made it so much of a home that I think they now have their own office in the suite. I don't know how that happened, but it has happened. But again, we wouldn't have it any other way. And so with that, I would like to both have Kyle and Kira to come up and as we celebrate them. They can pick. Thank you. So again, thank you both for all your work that you've done. Yes.
Don't leave. Don't leave. All right, so I want to give y'all one. There we go. There we go. Wonderful, lovely. All right, so we want to invite up to the stage as well. Did you have anything else you wanted to say, Andrew? Okay, I want to invite up to the stage Kayla Blanchard. There's so many K's. Kayla, can you come join us? Woo-hoo! And so usually one thing that we try to present here at the Avery Research Center is a cord. So it's a red, black, and green cord that we give to students who have worked at Avery. But this year, I was really, at first one of the people we're gonna get was Elliot. We're still gonna figure out how to play Elliot's video, don't you worry. We'll work it out somehow. But one of the students who works here with us is Kayla Blanchard, who has told and shared her story and her journeys to Avery and through Avery. And so Kayla will receive a cord. And then today, we also want to make sure that Kyle and Kira receive a cord because of their efforts to really take up the charge. I sent out an email about 3 months ago. I ain't hear from nobody. And then next thing I know, I get a text from Dr. Mahoney was like, the students are planning. And then I get an email and they're like, and I get an email from students and they're like, we're working on this thing. Can it just be these folks? Can it be these folks? Does it have to be the leadership? And I was like, I don't care what y'all do. I'm just going to cover the food. Like, however you want to make it happen. And so I just want to say thank you for taking up the charge. I really do hope that the Avery Collective continues to exist and be a thing. And so with that, we want to don you with our Avery cords as well and welcome you into the Avery family. And so our faculty here are going to give you your cords, however y'all want. They gonna figure it out. But we wanted to say thank you and congratulations, and may you carry Avery with you from this point forward, knowing that it is always home. And once you wear this cord, it also means that you're going to donate to the Avery Research Center as soon as you get your first job. So if you want to give those back, okay, cool. All right. Well, we just want to congratulate you and know that Avery is always home, and we are deeply proud of you and grateful for all that you do to bring Avery to the students here at the College of Charleston. So thank you.
I know I'm back up here at the mic again, but I'm only going to be a second. I just wanted to say thank you to all the faculty. Thank you to Dr. Butler for sending out that email and getting all of us students together, because without that, the Avery Collective would not be a thing. I also want to say thank you to Dr. Mahoney, the faculty advisor for Binya, who has led us in every step of the way, who has told us when we had too much on our plates and when we had things that we needed to do. So he always kept us on task. Thank you all so much.
We did it, y'all. We did it, Joe. We're like 10 minutes before 4 o'clock. And so one of the things that another person I also wanted to shout out who we did not do is Dr. Tiffany Harris. I think the students shouted out Dr. Harris, but Dr. Harris basically work here. She got a whole desk now. And so we just want to say thank you for being here and supporting our students supporting Avery. Even it doesn't matter what day, what we're doing. We just appreciate that and being able to try to bring the School of Education back and reconnecting us to the and Avery in the School of Ed in that manner. With that said, I just want to hope that everybody will take forward the charge that's been put before us. We have a really brilliant group of folks here at the College of Charleston, and I hope that you will connect, that you will build connections, that you will forge connections, that you will support our students. Right now, we have 4 students, is that right? 4 students who are here today. So wave your hands in the air like you don't care if you're a student who's still gonna be here. All right, there we go. Okay, more than 4. We got multiple students. Sheesh. All right. Ebony, are you graduating? Okay, great. Well, thank you. All right. So I will hope that you will continue to come back. We accept snacks. So if you all want to donate snacks, our staff would love snacks. Our students love snacks. If you want to make donations, they accept those too. And so that we can go out and buy them snacks, but also so that we can support our students. I would love to be able to, as much as I love that the students went to this conference here in South Carolina and that some of the students made it to NCBS, there's so many more places and platforms for our students. And so hopefully somebody out there on YouTube that's watching could drop a couple thousands and we can get these students to go all across the country because they're doing great work. Our faculty is doing great work. And I really hope that we can continue to invest and cultivate the leadership and the scholarship that's coming from this group. And with that said, I want to thank you all. Hope that y'all get out here safely. Take snacks. Y'all done ate all my egg rolls, spring rolls. So we down to cheese and crackers. So if y'all could just eat those, thank y'all so much and have a great rest of your day.
Yay.